doing? Good to see you.
You know you're playing with fire just putting that down there.
Why? You can't decipher it anyway. You can try. Yeah, you can sell it. Yeah, you can sell it. Give it to Vic. No. Happy New Year to everybody. I haven't seen you since, so Happy New Year.
So what's your approach?
Can I start?
Yeah.
I was reading through the transcripts yesterday, 2 coordinators. I really appreciate the questions on the Bears. That's awesome. I think there were more questions about our opponent this week than injury, so I really appreciate that. Thank you, guys. Yeah.
Doug, on injuries.
Yeah, here we go.
What's your philosophy about the importance of keeping things the same in a playoff week and just kind of going about your business the same way and not make it too big a deal?
Yeah, I'm a big believer if it's not broke, you don't have to fix it. And so we've done that the last kind of month. I have scaled back, done the walkthrough the last couple of weeks, and it seems to have gotten the guys a little more fresh, for the games. And I just think we have to put, as coaches, we put importance on meetings, and players have to put the importance on extra film time and all that they can do. And at this stage of the game, this late in the season, I don't feel like you got to change a whole lot just to change.
Doug, you've had Golden now for half the year. What is his place in the offense? What do you think you can? Are you getting everything out of him that you think you can? Is he just one of a number of guys you can use? Where's he fit in?
Well, right now, he's obviously with Alshon and Nelly, and then he being the third in our slot. He mixes in well. I mean, he gives the quarterbacks, he gives Nick or Carson, an opportunity to complete the football. He's a good route runner. Where he is in our offense, I mean, he came to a group that we thought was pretty good. So we're just kind of adding a little more depth at that spot. It doesn't take away from Jordan Matthews and what he's done, but I think he's settled into his role and what he's doing, and he's made some significant plays for us. Whether it be on third down or an opportunity to run after the catch, and he's doing exactly what we're asking him to do at this point.
As Isaac gets closer to playing, does he get that starting job back, or do you stay with Woods?
Yeah, we'll have to. I mean, first of all, we have to see. We got to see where he's at, number one, and before we can make any other changes at that spot.
With Khalil Mack moving around a lot, is it hard watching the film for teams to kind of like, if they want to chip him or if they want to double team him? Does that make it difficult? Is that what you've seen?
Yeah, it makes it a challenge. He'll line up, like you said, he'll line up on both sides of the formation. So, we just have to know where he's at, obviously, and he's a tremendous player, and especially on third down when he can gear up and get after the quarterback, and he's very disruptive. And so, yeah, it makes it a challenge, but our backs and tight ends just have to know, by scheme or by protection call or formation, where he is, and quite frankly, the entire front, because it's a good front. It's a much improved front than obviously what we've seen last year, the year before. So it's a challenge for us.
You said before that you guys have your tackles out in the islands probably more than any other team. Obviously, you have good tackles, so you can do that. But is there a philosophical reason why you do that?
Chipping and all of that you're talking about?
Having your tackles out on islands probably more. He said more than.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the more guys you can get out in the route, a little bit better. Sometimes the ball out fast can sort of nullify a rush, which you saw in the Rams game, early in the Rams game. And so there's a fine line. You just got to mix it up. You can't always, and you're not always going to be in a position to chip guys like that. I mean, you're going to have to get guys out in the route, just based on the situation of the game and the play call. So again, we don't go out of our way to necessarily design formations or different protections or anything like that, but we just have to be aware of where he is.
How much of a believer are you in momentum? I mean, you guys have had to win a lot of high-pressure games down the stretch in order just to get here and everything. Do you think that carries over into the postseason?
Well, you hope so. Yeah, you hope so. I mean, this is a different season now. you're in the postseason, so obviously expectations increase, sense of urgency increases, speed of the game gets faster, and it's it's a situation where I think we benefit from last year having been in the postseason. A lot of our guys on this team, and we've had even the new additions to our team have been in the postseason before. So I think we can lean on those experiences. But I think everybody's kind of has that clean slate, and the momentum thing, you try to continue it, you try to keep it going. That's why you don't change a lot of things, and you just try to keep doing what you're doing, and just continue to get better each day.
So
Nick's been getting rid of the football quicker than he has typically in his career, and his completion percentage is way up. Are these things stylistically, when he went back in, that you said, here's how we got to play, or just kind of what do you attribute those things to?
Stylistically,
Schematically, I don't know, whatever.
that's a good word. I have to use that. I think it comes just his understanding of the offense, knowing where everybody's going to be. If it's a ball out fast to the flat, he's going to get it there. If he has to hold it for a second to get it down the field, he's going to know that. I think it's just understanding the offense, the down, the distance, situation in the game, and he's been very accurate with his throws. So, and plus it also just helps the offense stay a little bit ahead of the chains on early downs. It keeps yourself in a third, more manageable situation.
Along those lines, last year ahead of the playoffs, and maybe even during the bye week, you guys felt like you needed to maybe tweak the offense more to Nick's strengths. I don't want to say it's easy this time around, but is it easier because you now know you already have that kind of basis from which to work off of?
Yeah, I mean, we had the first 2 games of the regular season. We had all the training camp to kind of prepare, Nick and get him ready. It is easier having gone through it a year ago, and especially in the postseason. And then now these last couple of weeks, being able to sort of kind of hone in on the plays that he likes and different things, and it does make it a little bit easier from that standpoint. Yes.
What makes Nick Foles so good in these high-pressure situations? I mean, he hasn't lost a game the last 2 years, December or later. Everyone knows what he did last year. What has made him so good in these situations?
First of all, he gets in there early and he studies and he prepares and he watches the film. And then secondly, he understands the game plan and how we're trying to attack an opponent. He understands protection. He understands where his hot throws are going to be. And I think that's just part of being a professional quarterback. And all our guys, because Carson does that, Nate does that, they're all together doing that. So that to me is a sign of you're going to have a higher completion percentage. You know exactly where everybody's going to be at on certain plays. I think in my case as a play caller, I can dial up the same play again in the game somewhere where there's repetition on stuff, and then it's familiar for all the guys. And I think this time of year, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. I think you can stay consistent with what you've what you think your core plays are offensively, and if you can repeat them, you repeat them, and it allows the quarterback to process all that information, and Nick can do that and maybe go somewhere else, with the ball on the same play.
Well, you're doing a lot of that's really good where you've had someone that knew you really well, or you knew really well on the other side of the sideline. But this is really about as close as it gets, right? I mean, you and Matt really came up together.
Yeah,
How does that affect the game?
Well, I think because we're both on the offensive side, and quite frankly, I think too, their offense is a little bit different than ours, and it's even a little bit different from the Chiefs' offense. I think there's a little bit of the Oregon influence in some of the moving parts and different things that they have there, and the personnel that they have. But I think sometimes you kind of know maybe the psyche of a coach, what he thinks, how I think, having been in meetings together. I think that part can maybe at least shed a little bit of insight maybe on in a situation. Obviously, you can see Matt's creativity, in the offense and some of the things they're doing, in the red zone and stuff like that. But because we're both on the same side of the ball, probably makes it a little bit probably equal. It'd be different like when I went to Kansas City last year with Bob Sutton, as a D coordinator in Kansas City. You practice against that guy every day in training camp and OTAs, and so you understand tendencies. And Matt and I are on the same side of the ball, things change. So it'd be a little different.
When you go against a defense that's been this good against the run, as a play caller, how do you approach that? Do you think, all right, we got to find a way to make it effective, or do you think that you might have to abandon it a little earlier than you'd like?
Well, this is definitely an excellent defensive team, and each week I think I would assume that Coach Fangio is saying, hey, we got to stop the run with every opponent, not just us, but every opponent. Stop the run, put the ball in the air. Then they can let their pass rushers get after the quarterback, and it's a challenge. I mean, I go back to the Houston game, and you try to run the ball, and it's not there, and so at some point you have to make a conscious effort that if you're protecting the quarterback, which I didn't feel like we did a great job of that in the Houston game, but if you can protect, then you might have to throw the ball a little bit, but you still have to try to run the ball. You still got to try to, you can't be going 3 and out all the time, punting the ball back to your opponent. So I think there's a balance. But somewhere in the game, you got to make a decision. You're either going to stick with it, or you might leave it behind and move on.
It seems like you and Matt's careers are very much connected. You would leave one post, and he would, fill that post, and so on until you've both gotten to head coaching positions. What has the relationship been like with Nagy, and what's it like to be on this stage with him now?
I mean, I think it's definitely an honor to work with guys. I mean, I think of, even now with Frank Reich, taking over in Indianapolis, I think, you've built relationships with these guys, their families and all of that, and then you see them at this level, and especially as head coaches and having success like both of those guys are. And it's makes you feel proud that you had a chance to work with them and be on the same staff with them and all of that. And Matt and I, we talk. I mean, he bounced a lot of ideas, and when he took over in Chicago this past year, just how did I do things my first year and things like that, and it just kind of picking my brain. Frank did the same thing this year, so to always have that bond, I think have that relationship is special, and it'll be exciting. I'll be excited to see him Sunday.
Are you more relaxed heading into this postseason compared to last season?
No. I may look it, but no. No, I mean, I know how our team has really fought this last month and a half of the season, last 6 weeks, and it does. Excuse me. It does give you a little, comfort knowing that we've kind of went through this grind, and we're here now, and you just, we have to continue to grind and continue to work, but. I don't think it's any easier. It's a different team again, different set of circum. We have to travel. If we're fortunate to win, we got to be on the road again, and so it feels different, but the excitement is the same, and that's what I think the energy, feeds the building because of that. All right, thanks guys.